I'm not saying that that is necessarily the best business model. I don't know. We're comparing Disney, which is a company, against anime, which is a medium. So feels strange. I know we're about to break down the Viz Manga app, but all right, we're almost halfway through this video. So far, my feelings on this are that I think I agree overall, probably, with a lot of the points he's making. And I just don't like the way he's making them. Like, the way he's going about it is often frustrating. He'll zero in so far on, like, incredibly specific examples that I don't think are, like, the best way he could make the point. And then sometimes he'll just, like, bring up some shit and then just kind of brush past it and not really explain what he was talking about because he thinks I'm gonna know. This video is clearly for people who are way more tapped into the internet conversation around anime than I am. I don't know people's takes. I don't know what like infamous takes have gone viral or whatever the fuck, like, so that aspect of it is like almost over my head where I'm like, what are you talking about?
In fact, it's the ease in which the app is available that I think lends to the other factor. Anime has always blended well with online culture, and with Gen Z being increasingly more online, that means the connection between anime and general audiences becomes tighter and tighter. Lore videos, general seasonal anime videos, and reviews, anime-inspired content is just more accessible than comic book-inspired content online. Manga was available way sooner.
Like, all that
online.
lore videos and shit exists for comic books, too. Bird watches all that shit. He'll watch the lore video on any fucking piece of media that exists that has a lore video, and I've definitely seen him watching manga lore, comic lore, every type of explained video. There's a pretty big infrastructure of like channels that just talk about comic books. Granted, most of them are conservatives.
For the apps, it wasn't just that they're cheaper, they were available sooner. Western comics have always struggled with the online applications, and it shows. But look, we're talking about availability and accessibility. What about content? Does the content of anime make it better for Gen Z than, say, Marvel? Well, it's complicated, because anime is a medium. What happens in anime differs from series to series.
Yeah.
I think one factor too is that Western media is more franchise-centric, whereas anime and manga and manhwa have a life cycle. New shows come in, new manga come in, they have their run, and then they end. Some become classics, they're relevant decades later. Most don't. Meanwhile, Disney needs specific franchises to remain eternally relevant.
Just ask them.
Marvel and Star Wars, they spent a lot of money buying and acquiring, and they got to make sure they get their money's worth out of it. And Disney, because of this, is increasingly afraid to make original IP. In part because a lot of the original IP is a safe bet, a safe starting point, and it doesn't really catch with the general audiences because it's just too safe. It's just too familiar.